Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Paint Table. It's my weekly show where you see what I got done, what I'm working on, and what is coming up. So today we're taking a look at 3 different games worth of models, 4 different games worth of models. I painted for 2 games, I assembled and primed for some other games, and generally speaking I got about 10 models completed and a bunch of other stuff on the go. There's some stuff that's not here, it's on my actual paint table right now, kind of half assembled, and I was like, I'll just leave it off here. You can see it painted next week. And I did get some things done that I said I was going to get done the week prior. So let's see what I got done and what's coming up. So first things first, I painted a heavy battle lance for my Gamma Regiment of Wolf's Dragoons. I painted a just regular battle lance of these guys to take up and throw down against the Catalyst Game Labs guys. And I figured this would be a fun sort of like add-on. I want to finish the company up just as like a basic company before the Mercenaries Kickstarter kicks off or like delivers next year. And I figured just doing like a lance every couple months or a few weeks would keep me painting Battletech and be fun. And I had some boxes kicking around I hadn't finished. This is the Heavy Battle Lance box set. Comes with a Night Star, a Cataphract, a Bushwhacker, and an Axeman. Great sculpts. Super fun to have like a big guy too, like the Night Star painted up. And I hadn't painted a Cataphract or a Bushwhacker yet. Jade painted a couple of them. Actually, he painted the Axeman too when we did the Somerset Strikers campaign. These are all done by priming with a Rust-Oleum charcoal gray. It's a chalked charcoal gray, and then airbrushing them with a Imperial Hobbies, I think like Night Sky. It's like a deep, deep blue. And then edge highlighting it with the Fang, and then I think it's like Ulthuan gray for like the edge highlights there. I used a really deep red. I think I had Mephiston red with then the Careberg Crimson like wash over top of it, then just blend it up through like just the basic red and blazing orange. And that same yellow, I mixed a little bit of, I think, Goldfag brown into as the base coat. A little bit of brown and yellow will give it like a nice deep base coat for like your first tone. Then you can put some yellow over top of it. And then just my hazard stripings. Metallics are my favorite metallic. I don't know, I should buy stock in this, but it's scale 75 black metal as my base tone for all of the metallics, and then just wash with Nuln Oil. And then highlighting it with scale 75, I think it's bright silver, just for like the edge highlights. Super fun, super easy. Bases are Sterling Battlemire, which I keep buying the rack out of if I find it in game stores right now, because I think it's discontinued. And then the center washed with like Rattling Grime, thinned down, and the edges dry brushed with, I think, a Vallejo Saddle Brown, and then Screaming Skull at the edges. As that old ex that is always trying to take you back every few years is getting ready to come back round, I am finishing up my pile of Leagues of Votaan stuff that I started last fall and never finished. So you saw last week, I painted a whole heap of guys. I finished off these exosuits, the Einhir Hearthguard, and they're done in the same way as my little Sagitaur Pioneer vehicle back here too. They are primed with the same Rust-Oleum chalked charcoal gray, and then airbrush Sons of Horus green, and then I mix a little bit of like beige into it for a second airbrush around all the edges and leading edges and stuff. You can see the fades at the edges of things here on the vehicle. I do all the metallic scale 75 black metal. Hey, it's if you have things that work, why fight it? I left the canopies off obviously for the Sagitaur, and then the metallics, I used, Vallejo dark gray as well for the weapon casings, and then everything's washed with Nuln Oil. I just kind of lightly wash it in the recesses of the armor and stuff too, just to pick out like these rivets, any sort of like, I don't know, just anything that needs a little more depth. I'll throw a little bit of Nuln Oil on top of. The tires were actually dry brushed that dark gray and then washed with Nuln Oil too, and that helps pick out like the edges of them. And then afterwards I went back over top and dry brushed them with a teeny tiny bit of beige, just to kind of dusty them up. Bases are done with a purple, and then I think it's Dorn yellow. I think it's like a discontinued layer paint I used for like the edges, just to kind of like brighten them up a bit. And those are Deadlands Tufts from Army Painter on them. I used Griffin Gold and a little bit of, I think, scale 75 Viking Gold for the helmets and stuff, and then just decals and done. The canopies, I left them off as completely separate pieces, and then once everything, like including the interiors, was painted, I went over and instead of like, because you don't want to dull coat them, you don't want to put anything over top of them, I just carefully painted like the webbing sort of around the dome, and then a tiny touch of very light plastic glue at top and bottom where the tabs basically sink in case I get some frosting to like secure them afterwards. But that let me keep that nice like actual window pane look to them. And you can see the little guy, little driver inside. And it's got all those little details and stuff painted too, and then the little Ironkin gunner. That's it. 10 models painted and added to my Battletech forces for some games with Jay this week, as well as painted up some of these backlog of 40k minis. This is my incentive is I'm trying to get like my backlog of 40k stuff done, because it's instead of starting a new army, I'm like finishing existing armies that I've just got stuff in drawers that I never quite got done. Speaking of which, the next leg of that journey, we've got the Hecaton land fortress that needs to get done. I am holding off on this thing because it's just a big miniature, and that means it's a ton of work. So I am getting these guys done first. The Thunderkin. I've got them. The things that are on the paint table right now actually are also the the Iron Priest guy and the Psyker. And then I think that's it for like infantry. I have like one of every infantry squad painted because that was what I collected back in the beginning, and that's what I wanted to like finish off. So I'm gonna get the characters done and this guy, like these guys done. And I think I have two core squad. Oh, I should do my kill team too, actually, because then I can play kill team with them as well. Because I have the kill team Leagues of Votaan guys too, and that'll give me like a third like regular dudes box as well. Just like the Hearthguard regular guys. No, these are the Hearthguard, aren't they? Whatever the regular like kin guys are, basically. And then I'll have my infantry done, and then I'll tackle this big beast. But I got it out and was like, I pulled the frames out and I was like, oh god, you're so much. You're just such a giant miniature. I don't want to do you right now. And as you once start painting Battletech, you can't stop painting Battletech. I went and dug through my boxes and was like, what would I want to paint next? What haven't I painted, actually? These are 4 mechs I have not actually painted, and this is from the Inner Sphere Support Lance. It's a Spider, a Thug, a Cyclops, and a Grand Dragon. And I've never painted these 4 battle mechs, and I was like, well, that works. I have a heavy battle lance, a battle lance, and then a support lance. That feels like a company of Wolf's Dragoons. They're pretty militarized. Like, they're not kind of traditionally hidebound. They're very more military-y, so this felt like a good bunch of battle mechs to paint up as my next sort of like leg. So I pulled them out and I've just started cleaning all the mold lines and stuff off them. Then I rolled up my warband for 5 parsecs from home, and I found this box in my box of Infinity stuff and was like, oh, I've only painted one of these 4 miniatures, which is the Mad Scientist there in the middle. He's my Sectet this turn, or this ITS season for Infinity. And I was like, these are all fantastic character models. I'm painting these. This is going to be 3 of my character models for my warband for 5 parsecs from home, and I got a few other like ideas for what I want to paint too. But I love these miniatures, and it just gives me an excuse to paint them. And they're literally the RPG character set, so perfect. No notes. And then one of the things that I like to do when I'm doing projects is do all the big colors on like break the back of the project and then pick away at miniatures one at a time, like just sitting in front of the TV or sitting around with the kids. So I got all this. This has actually been sitting assembled for a long time. I got it all textured, like sprayed first. I'll spray with the Lead Belcher GW spray. Textured. I actually did all this when I started painting this extra Chronomancer for Kill Team, when I painted the Necron Kill Team for Into the Dark. And then it's washed with my custom wash of like blazing orange, Ardcoat, and water, because I could see a nice like recessed like rust marking, and then dry brushed with that same scale 75 pure silver. And I did my base dry brushing. My whole thing with projects like this is if you break the back of like the big colors, I go big colors to small colors. And with like Space Marines or Necrons, something where the vast majority of the miniature is one big tone, this is such a like, it gets the dull parts finished all at once, and you can save a bunch of time just blasting it out as a single project. So I had all this stuff ready to go, and I just was like, I'll spray it, I'll texture it, I'll get all the drying time stuff done. So like, I sprayed it all, I went for a jog one day, and then the next day, I did all the texture or the washing, and I went for a jog, and then like, it's dry when you come back, you know what I mean? You do like 25 minutes worth of work, and then all the like waiting and like in between crap is just finished. And the same with the texture paint. I texture painted all one morning after I dropped the kids off to school, and then like went for a run, and then like every sort of like day, you do a big step of this, and you end up with this. And like for some people, this is like a finished army. Like this is plenty. I'm gonna do all I'm just gonna take them one at a time then and just do all like the tubing, the masks, the details. Like I'll probably just do like the scarabs all at the same time because they're super fast. But it makes a big project like this more manageable. And I will probably only have spent, because all the drawing time I'm walking away and doing something else, I'll probably only have spent the vast majority of like the hours on this army, or this big chunk of army that I'm trying to get finished because it's just been sitting forever from the last starter set. Most of it have been assembly, and like the actual like workload part of it of painting will have been broken into smaller steps, and I'll have walked away during all the drying time, so I've saved a bunch of time. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get this done this week. along with the last few like infantry. Like I'm gonna clean that up. I might actually just hop to this for a minute, finish this and hop back. It sometimes is worth like taking a break on something to get your energy back. So I might actually hop over to the Necrons and try and get them finished, because this is like, I can do this all at the same time. Like these are characterful enough, and like the character models for the Leagues of Votaan, I probably want to sit and like enjoy for a minute. I'll probably power through this because they're all the same basically, and then finish the Votaan infantry, and then just be like, all right, cool. I have new stuff to try out that I just painted that'll get me excited to try at 40K again. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and power that through this week. I really might want to take a break. I might paint these guys. I was lucky enough to get my hands on an advanced sample copy from GW of the Weird Hollows Headman Curse. I have not been this excited about a warband in a while. I'm obviously super excited for Underworlds right now, just because it's like bite-sized AOS. I don't want to paint a whole AOS army right now, but I'm really enjoying this edition of Underworlds. And this warband is so fun. It's a big guy warband, but disguised as a ghost warband. When I say big guy warbands are usually like big hitter piece warbands, like Mologs with the troll, or the big ogre armies with the hunter or the pirate. This is that kind of army with a ghost. And it's the ghost actually isn't the character. None of these guys are characters. The sword is the character, and it's ruling all these guys. The story's so cool. You can check my review of them for this week, but I'm actually really pumped to play these guys, and I might actually, that might be my like aperitif. Because I like picking away at like things like Battletech and Infinity in between, but this is like fantasy. There's a lot of sci-fi right now. It'd be cool to do a fantasy break, and this is I think a good like sideshow. I also got my hands on the starter set for Underworlds. This is the repackaged first generation warband, the Sepulchral Guard, and then also we've got Far Striders, his Rangers and stuff in here too. So brand new decks, no universal decks this time around, just 2 Rivals decks for each of the 2 factions in here. I think it's the original board too. It's almost like the original Shadespire box, but with 2 different warbands and their new decks, which I'm pretty pumped about. So this looks like it's supposed to be kind of evergreen for a minute. It's not tied to a specific setting the way the current ones are. And I'm hoping this ends up in other places, like maybe Barnes & Noble, toy stores. Like I could see this being a box that goes out to a broader audience, and I'll do a little review of it this week, which you can see as well. But I'm pretty pumped about it because I didn't actually ever get a chance to pick this one up, and it's gone. But I have the Sepulchral Guard already painted. So I gave the Sepulchral Guard to Nick so he could try them out. And I'm going to paint the Far Striders, and we'll do a game report of it in a little bit once everything's painted. So you got another 10 models painted this week. Lots of projects on the go and lots of things coming up. So we'll see what's painted next Saturday. Telling I'm Ash. Happy gaming. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look through the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My 2 kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job so I can always maximize my time with them. If you want to support me continue to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Death Ray Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching, it really does help out, and happy gaming.